Okay. There we are.
Hey there.
I was just chatting with Jay. Jay, you got cut off about our guest is joining us, but before we finish that, before we go to that, so you posted a picture on your Facebook account about your merchandise that you're selling, coffee cups and all these things, and someone reported it for nudity.
Yes.
Oh my God.
This picture's been up for years.
It's been up for years. It's been on T-shirts. It's on merchandise.
Yeah, and it got pulled off of one account.
But it got pulled off on the Facebook. Well,
Facebook is crazy.
that is not quite the transition I wanted to make to our next guest, but you know, this whole day has been just a circus today. We've had all sorts of weirdness, but hopefully we're going to get back to normal. We've got our next guest joining us today. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, give me and Jay a little bit of an introduction on yourself. Tell us where we can find you online, all the various things.
Sure. So, my name's Alejandra. My artist name is Agent Envy, and I'm a singer, a songwriter. I have been singing for pretty much my entire life, mostly rock music, a little bit of musical theater here and there, but I started this solo project called Agent Envy back in the beginning of 2019. So this is what I've been focusing my time on. I'm based in Brooklyn, and I'm here right now in my home studio in my apartment. In terms of social media, I'm all over Instagram, YouTube. Recently got into the TikTok game as well, so that's been quite an interesting experiment coming from a millennial. Feel a little old for that platform, but it's a lot of fun.
So, Agent Envy, where does this come from?
So, I've always had a bit of a nostalgia and love for sort of gritty 80s and 90s retro-futuristic movies. I like that awesome aspect of it. I'm into comic books, things like that. So my birth name was already taken when it came to existing musicians. So I was like, well, I have to come up with sort of an alias. And rather than coming up with another real person name, I decided to come up with something that kind of sounded a little bit more like a character. So that's how Agent Envy was born. I also have over 7 years of experience working in private investigation, and there's been this kind of running joke with my friends that I'm actually a spy, which I'm not. But
not? Are you allowed to say it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where it all came from. It was this sort of like romanticization of my real life, like as if it were the Hollywood version. That's who Agent Envy would be. So it's basically my persona, but turned up a little bit. And yeah, that's the inspiration.
Awesome.
So now that you've talked about this, we're going to end up in a ditch, right? Because you're an agent, right?
Yeah. Now that I've told you. Yeah.
Now, we have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast. And Agent Envy is with us today. The musical persona is got an upcoming video that's out right now. You basically lead a double life. You have a you have a hard-edged rock sound. When you're not working on music, you're traveling the world working as private investigator. And recently you released your debut single, which is a cover of the Deftones classic My Own Summer. Tell us about this.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Deftones fan, huge 90s rock and metal fan in general. I would say that out of all of my musical influences, that's the genre and that's the era that influenced my music the most. So I also really enjoy doing sort of unusual and creative covers of classic songs, and My Own Summer is like one of Deftones' most widely recognized songs. It has an absolutely sick riff. The lyrics are incredible, and I love the original version, but I thought it would be fun to reimagine it in kind of a more sultry, sort of industrial, almost trip hop way. And I thought that would be a really great way to showcase to my audience who've never heard one of my officially released songs before, how I might sing something in my style or produce something in my style. So that's how we ended up choosing that track. I really gravitate towards like cinematic songs. I'm a very visual person, so I really take a lot of inspiration from films and film scores and things like that. And that song just holds a special place in my heart. So I thought it would be a fun little project, and it turned out so well. I'm so pleased with the way that the track came out.
Fantastic. Agent Envy with us today. She joins us live here on the old Skip Skype, and she has a incredible song out right now. It's the cover of the Deftones' "My Own Summer," and she's with us today here on Skype. And Jay Birdwells is with us today. And so Jay, I know you probably have some questions for Ms. Envy.
So whenever I hear Agent Envy, I always think of like Kim Possible or Mrs. Incredibles. Do you do any kind of dressing up for some of your music videos? Do you cosplay?
I wouldn't say that. Like, I don't really think of Agent Envy as a character specifically, but the name, I mean, you hit it right on the head in terms of the sort of idea that I want to invoke when people hear that name. Like, it's supposed to be sort of a play on like a secret agent alias, but at the end of the day, it's still me. It's still my music. Like, it's not a full encompassing project where all of the songs are about secret agents or anything like that. Like, the original songs that I'm writing are personal to me from my own life experience. But in terms of the overall aesthetic, like if you check out my website, it has that kind of red neon, sort of old school, like MDOS feel to it. So in terms of brand consistency and aesthetic, that's definitely something that I gravitate towards. But it's not like the project in general is not like centered on the secret agent identity, so to speak.
That's awesome.
I think the world's ready for another, like, what is it? It's called rap opera or something, rock opera, where where it was like I think it was Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. I could see you, I could see you doing something like that.
I mean, I love concept albums. Some of my favorite bands that I grew up listening to, that's basically all they wrote, are these overarching storylines that span an entire album with, they've thought of all of the details down to the way they dress and, the imagery. And I really like that sort of holistic approach to music and art. So that's something that I definitely strive for and would look to do in future iterations of this.
Agent Envy with us today. And so what has the response been on social media to some of your music and everything that you're doing?
It's been really positive so far. Thankfully, I haven't really gotten any negative feedback. I was kind of concerned about a lot of potential backlash because, when there's so many diehard Deftones fans, and I can easily understand that when somebody covers, a really well-known track, they might be a little skeptical, like, what's this girl doing? Is it going to be good? Is she going to do this song justice? But thankfully, I've gotten so much positive feedback, even from people who were maybe initially skeptical about what the song was going to sound like and what my take on it was going to sound like. So that's been really awesome, and people are really excited to hear my original music as well. So I'm actually going to be releasing a few original singles starting in the next couple of weeks. So I'm very, very much looking forward to getting my original material out in the world as well.
Fantastic.
Are you getting out there right now during this COVID lockdown? Are you doing a lot of internet stuff?
Yeah, I'd say that the majority of my strategy has been digital. There aren't any venues open in New York City right now. I've seen a couple of like pop-up stages here and there doing very distant things, but it's still a little too early for me to feel comfortable, getting a large crowd together. It just doesn't really seem like the responsible thing to do, especially since New York was hit so hard. But I definitely have seen a ton more engagement online because people are really looking for things to watch and things to listen to. So I'm starting to ramp up some live content and some streaming as well. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
We have got Ancient Envy with us today. Joins us live here in our broadcast. So this video, tell me a little bit about the video itself.
Sure. So my interpretation of the lyrics of My Own Summer is that it's about isolation from the rest of the world and sort of this play on whether or not you're isolating yourself or is the world the one that is isolating you from it. So I wanted to create a visual that had that sort of dreamlike and cyclical quality to it, where the viewer is not really sure like what's going on. Am I trapped there by somebody else? Does it turn out that I'm trapped there of my own volition? So that is something that I really wanted to create, and there's like a red neon section in the visual, which is kind of consistent with the color red that flows throughout my imagery and aesthetic. But overall, I just wanted to create something a little bit unsettling, visually stimulating for people, and something that we could execute in the middle of quarantine safely as well, because it's definitely changed a lot of people's plans and my plans, to say the least. But I'm really happy that we were able to get a really small crew together, film this, and get it out. So I'm super pleased with the way that it turned out. It was so much fun to film. I've never filmed a music video before, and so this is a really great time.
Awesome. It is Ancient Envy. She joins us today here in our broadcast, and we are going to go to this video. I appreciate you making time for us today, and thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Have yourself a wonderful day. Here we go. It is My Own Summer, and it is Agent Envy, and it is on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience. Coast to coast, boat to boat right now, my friends. Yes. That is Agent Envy. My Own Summer. Her version of the Deftones classic. Here on your world famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience. Coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio. And also, AMFM247.com. We are going to go to our next guest. But before we do that, let's do this. Let's take a quick little break. When we come back, we've got more coming up.